great about that, other than trying to help people who are in a state of invasion.
And welcome back to the Immigration Answers Show. My name is Jim Hacking. This is episode number 1010 of the Immigration Answers Show. I'll be here for the next hour and a half trying to answer as many of your immigration law related questions as I can. My good friend Huli is here. Looks like she's on assignment. It's not her usual setup, I don't think. She's got a new camera or some such thing. Huli's up to mischief, I should say. How are you all doing? It's good to be with you. Mr. Jimmy in the house. I will be here, like I said, trying to answer your questions. If you haven't already, let us know where you're watching from. Introduce yourself if you're new. We'd love to welcome you and to say hello. If you want to ask me a question, I don't take questions from TikTok or from the running chat on YouTube all that often. Most likely you're going to have to go into our green room, talk to Huli, and then come through and talk to me. So with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and get started right away with Connor. Hello, Connor.
Hi, Jim. Well, thanks for your time. I'll dive right in. So to give you some context around our case, we're going through marriage-based adjustment of status. We are a long-distance couple since my wife, who is the U.S. citizen, is currently attending law school in New York City, while I, the beneficiary, is working from Atlanta. So we did the interview. Went super well, and a few days later, our I-130 got approved. But we did, however, receive an RFE regarding the affidavit of support. And it said, hey, submit additional information to support your affidavit of support. Documents in the record show that your sponsor doesn't make enough money. And submit updated employment information about your sponsor, employment letter, tax, all that. And if you can't prove that, please submit a new form with a joint sponsor. So with that said, my spouse is obviously a student and is not working, but on the other hand, myself, the spouse beneficiary, I'm currently working with a valid STEM OPT, which will end on June 5th of this year. So in the initial application, we included my income to the sponsor's household income, and that was because, based on my research, sponsors can use household income from their spouse to meet the financial requirements. And if they're your spouse, his or her income can be counted regardless of their current residence, is what I saw in the instruction for I-864. So what I'm suspecting at this point is that we received an RFE because the most recent tax return at the time of the filing showed what is below the requirement, because at that time the most recent one was filed before our marriage. But now that we filed a joint return for this year for tax year 2025, that return shows that we're well above the requirement. So at this point, we're planning to respond to the RFE by explaining that, hey, yes, a sponsor is currently unemployed, but the sponsor is currently unemployed, but the spouse, the intending immigrant, will be contributing his income, which is legal, U.S. based income, and will continue after the AOS. And with that kind of explanation, we're trying to include an employment letter verification saying that, I make this much money and my employment will continue in the same capacity after receiving green card. And also the updated joint tax return for 2025 with the much higher income, as well as STEM OPT EAD. So that's kind of the plan that we're thinking about. So my question for you is, if you agree with our assessment of why the RFE was issued, and B, if you believe our RFE response / supporting documents will sufficiently address why the RFE was issued, given that we live apart, but we're married. I'm married to the sponsor.
Your research is wrong. You messed this all up. You need a joint sponsor. They're not going to consider your income. If you had called me a year ago, I would have told you that. This is not a good plan. If you submit what you say you're going to submit, your green card is going to be denied.
I see. And when you say my research is wrong, is that
They do not consider the income of the immigrant. They may say they do. There may be places on the web where they say they do, but I've seen many, many RFEs, not on cases we file anymore because we know better. If the U.S. citizen sponsor does not make enough money on their own, get a co-sponsor. That's my same answer. It's been my same answer for the last 3 years.
I see? Okay, that makes sense. All right, thank you.
Good luck. Internet research is no substitute for reality. And USCIS plays hide the ball when it comes to information regarding co-sponsors and the need for co-sponsors. But if he submitted what he said he was going to submit, that case is going to be denied. And I've seen those denials. And they don't tell you in the RFE, they don't tell you in the notice of intent to deny what they want. What they want is a co-sponsor. Nabil is here. Hello.
Hi, Jim. I hope you're doing well.
I am.
I filed an I-130 petition for my spouse about 7 to 8 months ago. She's a Pakistani national, and her visa case is affected by the 75-country immigrant visa pause, which I'm sure you're familiar with.
What kind of case did you file for? An I-130?
Yeah, an I-130 through consular processing, of course.
Okay. Sure.
And I wanted to ask whether you think it's wise, because as you know, the 75-country pause is indefinite. And so we're just trying to look at in the long term what we could do to be together quicker. Whether it's wise to apply for a B2 visitor visa while we're waiting for her I-130. I discussed this with my current immigration attorney, and they mentioned that it's usually not inherently a problem, but given the current immigration climate, there's a good chance that it could lead to sanctions or negative consequences for the I-130. I kind of wanted your opinion regarding that, whether you think it will affect my I-130 if I just simply apply. I know majority of the time these are not accepted in the first place because you've already shown immigrant intent, but I wanted to kind of check all the boxes possible and apply anyway. But
you've answered your own question. It's a waste of time, and all it can do is cause you grief. If it gets denied, which is most likely what's going to happen, then you've just wasted your time and gotten your hopes up. If it gets approved, which it's not going to, but if it did get approved, then you would have problems on the I-130 because later on they would say, oh, you tried to trick us. Oh, you sort of hid the ball that you had this I-130. Oh, you filed a B1 when you had a pending I-130. So for all those reasons, I would vote no on this.
okay, sounds good. That was my main question. Thank you so much.
Bye, Nabil.
Bye-bye.
I'm just breaking hearts left and right. Post I-45 interview. Hello.
Hello, Jim. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm well, thanks.
Great. Thank you for your time. So I actually got in touch with you a couple of weeks ago, and this is just a follow-up. I had some other questions related, which is basically I had an I-45, I-130 interview that happened about a month ago. It went really well. We're still waiting on a decision, and I've got some questions related to that, but actually my main question is related to if this was to take longer than expected, basically whether I would be able to expedite upon these reasons. Basically, I'm starting to have some issues back home because my country, following previous financial and political events, does not allow U.S. citizens or even U.S. residents from their own country to have a bank account in my home country. So I'm soon supposed to leave my residence that I was at before I left my home country. And when that happens, it's likely that my bank might get in touch with me to be like, hey, you don't have an address here anymore. Where are you? And if I was to tell them I'm a US resident, they would very likely close my bank accounts. And, I find myself kind of in a no man's land because I don't have a social security number. I can't open a bank account here. If that was to be the case, that the decision was to take longer than expected, could that fall under the extreme financial loss category for expediting a case?
No.
Okay.
There's no real expediting requests don't really work. Even if the U.S. citizen is like on death's doors, God forbid. Expedite requests is sort of smoke and mirrors. It's not something that's real that they really honor. I mean, you can certainly apply for it, but I wouldn't get my hopes up.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, then just related to the post the interview, We're just wondering because, again, I'm in within normal timelines. So, God willing, everything goes well and there's no, I might get it in the next couple of days, the next couple of weeks. But we're just wondering why there's no decision considering the interview went really well. We had the O130 approved within 5 minutes. The rest of the I-485 interview was like 15 minutes. It went really well. And he said, he just had to review a few things and that he just had to review a few things today. And then you should receive the card in about 2 to 3 weeks. And I still don't have it. It's, not even about the card. I still don't have a decision at all. So I was wondering, hey, could it be lost in the mail or something? I was considering, is it worth contacting them to ask, hey, did the card get lost or something? And I just want to make sure that it wouldn't be a bad idea to get in touch with them.
The I-130, was that approved or no?
So it was approved verbally. When you check online, it's still pending.
So it wasn't approved. Okay. And were you in status at the time you filed, or were you not?
I was, yeah. I came on the visa waiver and I filed on the 90th day. He said himself that when he asked me the question, have you ever validated some of your visa? I said no, and he looked a bit stumbled, and then I explained how it was within time, and he actually agreed himself. He said, yeah, actually he didn't overstay.
Yeah, that's all up in the air though. They're revisiting all that. When did you file the I-130 and the 45?
Beginning of October.
Yeah, dude, there's nothing to worry about. It's working through its system. They're doing the interview on the front end of the analysis, not on the back end. Your case has been on file for 4 months. That's nothing. I've had cases that take 2 years, so
okay.
Nothing to worry about. And I think just for everybody watching, I think we're starting to see a lot more site visits. We're starting to see more scrutiny, more checking with neighbors, those kinds of things. So, and again, they're doing that after the interview. So I think it's just harder to get a green card now than it used to be.
And if it was to take, when it gets past the 90 days, 120 days mark, can you contact them then, or no, not even then?
Oh, you can contact them whenever you want, but it won't work. They're going to do it when they want to do it. I wouldn't start worrying about it or getting concerned until a year's gone by from the date of filing.
Okay. And considering I entered on Nesta, I'm guessing if you were to be detained for any reason at all, it's basically instant removal, right?
That's right.
And if that was to be the case, can you continue through consular processing after that? And does that hurt your case that, the removal happened?
Well, you probably have a 5-year bar on coming back if you didn't take voluntary departure. So that can become more problematic.
And if you take voluntary departure, but you've been here for less than a year, is that still the case?
Yeah, because you've been removed. If they remove you, it's separate from timelines and overstays. There's a 5-year bar on a removal for someone on visa waiver.
Okay, gotcha. And it being actively reviewed as a status basically doesn't really mean anything, right? It could mean a million things.
Doesn't mean anything to you. It doesn't mean anything to me.
Okay, gotcha. All righty. Well, thank you so much.
Bye. Thanks for the call. Let's go to CT88. Hello.
Hello, Jim. How are you today?
I'm well. How are you doing?
I'm doing okay. Thanks for taking my call and for everything you do.
You got it.
So the situation is we are applying for a change of status for my mother-in-law who's here. We filed the I-130 and the I-485. I did the I-30 online because it was taking so long for the physician to get the documents to us, and we were on a time crunch, so I went ahead and did that online, sent the 485. Being in a hurry, I sent it to the wrong address. However, the next day I got another packet from the doctor and I sent it to the correct address, and sent it to Arizona first and sent it to Ohio, or I forget the other state. Anyway, I sent it the next day. They were both received. I expected the first one that I sent in correctly to be rejected, but it wasn't. They charged the credit card, which I know we'll get that back eventually. The thing that I'm concerned with is that I have received a request for evidence regarding the financial affidavit, which is not a problem. I have all the information that they request. Basically, I need to update the current tax information, which is fine. However, we got 2 separate requests, one for each of the 2 cases. And we also got the appointment for fingerprints, but only one appointment for fingerprints. The A number is the same on both the 2 cases. So I was wondering for some insight from you, please.
So what was the hurry that you had to get the 45 on file? It was coming up to the end of mom's 6 months or something?
Yes, correct. We got everything on time though, with about a week to spare.
So you sent the I-130 was online, and then you took that receipt notice and included it with the 485, right?
That's correct. Correct.
And let's talk about the first 485 that you sent, right?
Yes.
The first 485 you sent to the wrong address, right?
Right, which I forgot to mention. It actually got processed after the others, the one that I sent to the correct address. Yes.
Okay, we'll get to that. So you file a 45 at the wrong address, and then you realize it, and then what? You submitted a whole new 45
Yes.
with an updated with another medical,
Yes.
and they charged you twice for 2 45s.
Yes.
So I don't think you're going to get your money back. Number one. And so now left hand doesn't know what right hand's doing. You're getting an RFE on one case, but not on the other. And both cases are sort of proceeding.
No, we have an RFE on both cases.
Oh.
Only the appointment for fingerprints on one case.
Interesting. Was it, and the RFEs are the same?
Just with different case numbers, but the same A number.
Yeah, I think you need to get on the horn with USCIS and let them know that you have this problem. Let them know that you have 2 pending cases. You might want to formally withdraw one. People ask me all the time, Jim, is it okay to file like an employment-based green card and a marriage-based green card? And I say, yeah, that's not a problem, but this could be a problem. So I think they're going to be confused as to what you guys are up to. So I think you need to talk to them and figure out what they want to do. You could also talk to them at the biometrics and tell them what happened, but this is I've never had this situation happen before.
Yeah, I fully expected them to reject the incorrect one because it was only meant for I-130, and that's actually how I figured it out, because strangely enough, the plane had mechanical issues for 2 days.
Mm-hmm.
When I was following up on it and looked at the address, I realized then that I sent it to the wrong place, because the address clearly says I-130 on it.
Yeah, the one thing I'm worried about is them trying to think you're trying to trick them. That's the only thing the thing I'm mostly worried about, that you're playing some kind of game, which clearly you're not. But I think you probably want to talk to them, write down who you talk to, write down their badge number, document the hell out of it, and then ask them if you can make an InfoPass appointment so you can go to your local field office to explain it all to them, then take good notes of that, and then do whatever they tell you to do.
Okay, sounds good. I'll do that.
All right, good luck.
Thank you, Jim. Have
You're
a good
welcome.
day.
You too. All right. Let's go to Catherine. Hello, Catherine.
Hi, Jim. How are you?
I'm well, Catherine. How are you doing?
I'm good, thank you. I'll go ahead and explain my case to you.
Great.
So I am an F1 student. I'm married to a permanent green card holder. I filed my Form I-485 and Form I-130 in May 2022, and the visa bulletin was current to file at the time. And I got the first interview in September 2023. After that interview, my I-130 was approved, and now I stopped going to school in summer 2024. And now I have an interview tomorrow with the USCIS. I'm concerned whether stopping to school and my current status could negatively affect my pending I-485 case. I would like to know whether the USCIS could deny my case based on I'm not maintaining my F1 status anymore tomorrow.
What's your priority date on the 45?
It's gonna be May 2022.
And when did you stop going to school?
June 2024.
So the answer to your question is, in normal times and in reality, it shouldn't matter that you aren't going to school anymore. but they are sort of confused right now about the way things work. So your interview is, did you say it's tomorrow?
Yes, and I got the first interview in September 2023.
Yeah. And so, and what country are you from?
I'm from Vietnam.
Okay. So, final action date's all current. So they should be able to give you the green card tomorrow or approve your case tomorrow. I think you just need to be ready to say to them over and over, as long as I was in status, as long as I was in status at the time that I filed my 485, which I was, like, if I were you, I would have those dates written down
Mm-hmm.
so that you can explain that to them.
Yes.
I was in status from such and such a date until 2024. I applied for my 485 in 2022. Like,
Yes.
if I were in charge of the world, I would have wanted you to maintain your status all the way through. And now during Trump times, I might sort of still encourage that. But technically, you're right, and you're eligible for adjustment, even though you're not going to school anymore and your F1 is over.
Okay. So,
But like, you might have to advocate for yourself, because you might get some officer who doesn't know how things work.
okay. If it's happened and the officer said because I stopped going to school and he want to deny my case, is there anything I can say or?
Yeah, I mean, if the interview weren't tomorrow, I would tell you to bring a lawyer to your interview, write down everything that's said, and then you're gonna have to write a letter to them. Explain. Yep, we could do it, or some other lawyer could do it. We need to walk them through. I mean, don't bring it up. See if it comes
Yes.
up, but just say over and over, I was in status at the time that I filed the 485, and that's all that matters. Say that. If you have to say it 7 times, say it 7 times. If you have to talk to a supervisor, ask to talk to a supervisor. It's unfortunate that your interview is tomorrow, but you might have to advocate for yourself a little, and you might have to get someone smarter in the room if you have a dipshit.
Okay. Thank you so much, Jimmy.
All right, let me know how it goes, Catherine. Send me an email, okay?
Yeah. Thank you so much. You
Okay,
have a
bye.
good day. Bye-bye.
Bye. Day before the interview. All right. Let's go to Dan. What you got, Dan?
Hey, Jim. Thank you so much for doing this. We actually spoke a few weeks ago, and I just wanted to follow up, but I'll just recap anyway. So I went for my H-1B last year. I was laid off in April, and then filed my B-2 change of status within the 60-day period. That gave me time until December. And then I filed a B2 extension for 2.5 months after that, after which I thankfully got an offer, and they were willing to transfer my H-1B back to them during the pending B2 phase. And they filed my petition last week. It got approved straight away without any RFEs, because they did the premium processing thing. And I'm set to join the company soon, and they said they'll get the I-797A. But as far as I understand, that in these cases, they normally are expected to adjudicate both the pending B2 and H-1B together. But on my dashboard in USCIS, it still shows that B2 is just received. It's not been approved. So I was thinking of uploading a notarized letter asking for withdrawal, because that's what I've seen online, but I just wanted to get your opinion on that.
What would be the goal in doing that?
So what I'm worried about is my H-1B is approved, but my B2 is still pending. So if they approve B2 after that, it's based on like what I see as last action. I'll be jumping back to B2 if they didn't approve both of them together.
I've never heard of that happening. So you're saying you were on an H-1B, you got laid off, you applied for a B1, B2, that got approved, and then you filed for a second B1, B2, and in the meantime, you found an employer who sponsored you for an H-1B. Do I have it right?
Correct.
And you're worried now that with the lingering H-1B, the lingering B1, B2, that's going to somehow supersede the approval of the H-1B, so therefore you want to withdraw it?
Correct.
Do you have the I-94 on the new H-1B?
Correct. Yeah. Yes, I do. I got the digital approval notice. and the physical copy is, I think, gonna be dispatched. It's gonna go to my employer first. So
And you're proposing to wait until that happens before you withdraw the B1 B2?
no, I was thinking of withdrawing my B1 B2 as soon as possible. I get a notarized letter.
Sure as hell wouldn't do that. I sure as hell wouldn't do that until I have the I-94 in hand. And
Okay.
here's my other question.
Hmm.
Let's pretend that you never filed the B1 B2.
Hmm.
If you had never filed the B1 B2, was your H1B change of status filed before the original B1 B2 ended or after?
After.
So without that B1 B2, the second B1 B2 extension, without that, you don't have a bridge between the first B1 B2 and the H1B that is supposedly coming your way.
Correct.
There's no way I would withdraw it. Nope.
Okay. The lawyer kind of suggested to withdraw it, so I don't know. I'm like kind of stuck in between what to do, because even in my head, I'm like, if I were to leave the country to get stamped and then come back, how am I going to explain this 2-month gap?
Which you also shouldn't do. You should
Right.
also leave the United States even after you have your H1B. No, there's no way in hell I would recommend withdrawing that B1 B2. It's the only thing you have to bridge between the first B1 B2 and the H1B that you got.
Got it. But what if they approve that, and then do I go back on B2?
No, I've never heard of that happening. I think you're creating a problem that you don't need to mess with. Let them do what they want to do. If they're going to give you the H1B, then I would just assume leave the B1 B2 extension alone, and then if it ever comes up, just say, yeah, I filed for it and it was pending, and because it was pending, I would maintain my status from the original B1 B2, so I'm good to go. Shut the F up.
Got it.
Otherwise,
Okay.
otherwise, what you said is true. Otherwise, what you said is true. You have nothing to explain that time in the United States, and explain, more importantly, how you got a change of status when technically the B1 B2 extension was a nullity.
Right.
At least arguably.
Yeah. I mean, it's kind of weird that they approved my H1B straight away without. And I know that in the petition they did attach my receipt of pending B2 as well. So I'm not sure why they didn't approve that. But yeah.
Well, yeah, I think we sort of take the position that it served as a bridge, it served its purpose, and now we're not going to focus on it anymore.
Got it. All right. Yeah.
In other words, I'll say it one other way to hopefully put you at ease. I believe that the risk to you of withdrawing the B1 B2 extension is significantly greater than the risk of any problems to you if they somehow adjudicate the B1 B2 now.
Gotcha. All right.
Do you agree?
Yeah. Yeah, I'll just stay put, I guess.
Thanks, Dan. See you, buddy.
Thank you.
You got it. Al Zarani, hello. You're on mute.
Yes, sir, Jim. How you doing?
I'm well. How are you?
How are you? Everything good?
What's up?
Yeah. I'm currently having a VAWA bending since 2023, and recently, I believe the new law came up for CDL driver, because I work with the Metro. I drive for the buses, and they wanted to cancel my CDL driver license. Actually, I was thinking of I just go ahead and expedite my case, or do anything, because I'm currently like scared of losing my job and cannot provide for my family. This is my first question. My second question is
The first question, what exactly is the question? I know that they terminated jobs for people that don't have green cards or citizenship for certain CDLs. What's your question for me about that?
what do you think about if I just go ahead and expedite my case?
Oh, you can ask, but I don't think they'll expedite it.
Okay. My second question is I moved in with my wife and I have another spouse, but we're not married. I have a kid with her. We've been living together for almost 3 years, 2 years and a half. What do you think if just go ahead and propose to her and just start a new case? What's your opinion about that?
What country are you from?
I'm Saudi. I'm from Saudi Arabia.
When did you come to the United States?
Oh, I come to the United States 2013.
And when did you marry a U.S. citizen?
I married a U.S. citizen 2019.
Were you on an F1 or a visa overstay, or what was your status?
I was an F1. I came as an F1. I graduated in 2022. I filed my case on December 2023. But I was currently with my ex-wife for 5 years.
But were you out of status at the time you filed for your green card? That's what I'm trying to figure out.
Technically, yes, because I graduated in 2022. But after graduation, they give you a couple of months to leave the state.
Well, okay. So your F1, your CVIS record ended when you graduated. So when did you graduate?
I graduated 2022 on June.
June of 2022. What was the date of your marriage to your ex-wife?
My day of marriage, my ex-wife. I really can't remember, to be honest with you.
You got to know that, brother. But let's just say the year or the month. What month and year?
I could say 2021. I could say that 2021.
But you didn't file the green card application till when?
Until 2023, December.
So you were way out of status when you filed for your green card.
Most likely.
No, not most likely. You were way out of status. If your CVIS record ended in 2022 and you filed in December of 2023, you filed way late, right? So you were out of status at the time that you filed, right?
Yeah, yes.
Okay. And on a scale of 1 to 10, how much marriage evidence did you submit in support of the I-130?
9, 8, yeah.
Did you and your spouse ever have an interview on the I-130?
No.
Okay. And so you file in December of 2023. When did you start having problems with your spouse?
When did I have? So I don't get that. Like, I just filed a VAWA case. I did not file for because I left her and I started the process for VAWA.
Wait, so your former spouse, your ex-wife, never filed an I-130 for you?
No, we never did that. We never. We just got married, but we never did that.
So there's no marriage case on file with the government. So when I asked you the marriage evidence that you submitted on a scale of 1 to 10, the answer is actually 0 because you never filed an I-130, right?
With her, no, I did not. Sorry, I got confused.
That's okay. So I have a guy who's out of status, marries a U.S. citizen. Okay, here's my next question. On a scale of 1 to 10, how much evidence of abuse do you have?
I have up to 10, 9.
Like what?
Just harassment, hitting, and all the police reports.
So what evidence of hitting in police reports? What do the police reports say?
Abusing, robbery, and a couple of things. It's a lot of them. I have almost 4 police reports, and I have a statement from a friend, a family, even from her family, because she started being addicted to drugs after a couple of years after. I mean, the last year she got heavy on drugs with her friends. So that's the time when I was I had to just get out that relationship and move on with my life.
Okay. So I know I confused you when I asked you about marriage evidence from the first wife, but part of a valid VAWA claim is demonstrating that marriage was a real marriage. So if I were to ask you right now, how much marriage evidence could you come up with in support of the argument that the first marriage to your ex-wife, the one who became abusive, was real? Like, did you have a lease? Did you have a bank account?
Yeah. We had a lease. We had a bank account. We had a insurance together. We
Okay.
had a car insurance together.
You
Yeah.
have you have all that evidence with you now.
Yes, I do.
Did you submit it to USCIS with your
Yeah.
VAWA application?
Yeah, I did it with the package, the whole things.
Okay.
And
And
I have my social. I'm sorry to cut you off. I have my social and my work authorization since they got approved for 5 years, so it ended up 2029.
okay. Um,
But
and
the 485 and 360 is still pending.
sure. And now tell me about this person that you're living with now.
Yeah, I just met a new girl, fall in love with her, and we moved in. I moved in with my life, and now I have a kid with her, and but we're not married. We kind of, I'm not married to her, and
Are you
I'm just
married? Are you married religiously?
I'm Muslim. Yeah, I'm married to in the mosque. Took her to the mosque, and we got married there like 2 years ago when I met her, because I was like, look, I'm gonna do it this right time. This time I'll do it right, and we got married at the mosque. Now we live in a happy life, but I'm still scared about my losing my job and keep having nightmares sometimes. And I wanted to just make sure if VAWA may take longer, I'm gonna just go ahead and propose to her and just go ahead and file a new case.
So as we sit here right now in 2026, you've been out of status for 4+ years, right?
Am I concerned as out of status if I have a case with them?
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Okay.
In their mind, yeah, you have a VAWA on file, yeah. But now okay. So here's what I think. You have lots of problems. One is your long-time visa overstay. Number two, they're going to think you're desperate to stay in the United States. Number three, you're from Saudi Arabia and they're racist against people who are from Saudi Arabia. Number four, your VAWA case could take a long time, but the VAWA case is going to be fishy because they're going to think that you had this other girlfriend when you cooked up the VAWA claim, that you had a kid with her. How old is the kid?
1 year and a half now, 14 months.
So that means the kid was conceived, 24 months ago, so 2 years ago. So the timeline might really hurt you, but if you marry her, the VAWA case is then over, and then you go on the VAWA case, to me, they're going to think you're just somebody who's desperate to stay in the United States and doing whatever he can do. I think the chances of you getting a green card in the United States, either through VAWA or through this new marriage, I think the chances are relatively low. Not impossible, but they're going to be very suspicious of you. They're going to climb all over you. They're definitely going to go talk to your ex-wife and try to make you look out to be like a bad guy. And they're going to do everything they can to keep you from giving a green card. They're not going to voluntarily give you this green card. It's going to be a rock fight. And I would say the chances of success on either route are about 20 or 25%. They're going to want to deport you.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay.
Thanks for the call.
Thank you, Jim. All right.
Yeah, bud. Yep. All right. This is the Immigration Answer Show. My name is Jim Hacking. I'm all dressed up today because I'm going to go give a talk. I keep saying gonna. Whenever I do the transcripts on my TikToks, it always says gonna. I'm a gonna. You wanna. I got to get better with my diction. I'm going to go speak at Washington University to some pre-law students about the fun. I'm on a panel with my friend David Cox and Jesse Chappelle, two other immigration lawyers. Talk yesterday was okay. There weren't many students there. I probably won't go back to that school. I'll probably start doing a monthly webinar for international students, and anybody around the country can come. I think that might be more useful for them and for me. N400, hello. We can't hear you. All right. Yeah, Timmy, that's true. You were there too. That's true. If you streamed it, it's still available if anybody wants to watch it. Richard, hello.
Oh, hi. Hi, Jim.
How you doing?
Good. I just recently discovered your show and I am really getting into it since I just married a Chinese woman last December.
Nice.
Anyway, and yeah, I'm going to turn 69 in a few days. She's 64. And
I love love in the later stages of life. I think that's
I know.
great.
I was pretty much giving up on it, and then we met on the website dating. Anyway, so she told me she was here with a 10-year tourist visa that expires 2027. And so anyway, she came back. She went back to China after when she first came back in 2023, and then she has it. She said they didn't mark on her visa when she should go back, so she hasn't been back since 2023.
So she's out of status.
It looks that way. She showed me a paper, and it said it was EVUS requirements have been met. It said, and it was valid for 2 years, and that expired May of 2025, as far as I can tell.
She has a B1 B2 visa.
Yeah.
So she was probably admitted for 6 months at the most. So yeah, so she's out of status.
Yeah, so I'm just really worried because I saw the episode you had about where they're just grabbing people when they go for.
Yeah, that seems to have died down. That was like a 2-week period in San Diego and San Francisco. So as we sit here right now, you're married, right?
Yeah, we've been married since December, so just for like almost 3 months.
Have you filed for her?
I'm in the process. I have a lawyer that helped me with she's not specifically a one for immigration, but she's been my lawyer for my divorce, and she's a good friend. Anyway, so we were getting ready to fill out all the paperwork for the what is it called? I think we're supposed to fill out the form I-485.
There's a bunch of forms you're supposed to fill out.
Yeah. We really haven't done anything yet. I just got. She thinks, because also she said that she thinks it's too risky for my wife because she's been hearing.
Your lawyer doesn't know what they're doing. You should hire an immigration lawyer, someone who
That's kind of what I got when I've been listening to you.
Yeah. So when was the last time your wife left the house?
Left the house.
Yeah, when was the last time she left the house? Is she?
We go to the park. I mean, she walks the dog. We've been living together since we got married, and
yeah. So let's say something bad happens, and let's say she's in a crosswalk, and she either sees an accident or is involved in an accident, or something bad happens, right?
Yeah.
If you live in a red state, or if you come across a red cop who likes to talk to ICE, he could start asking about her immigration status, and then things start to unravel, and she's on a fast train back to China. So I would encourage the two of you to get started yesterday on getting her case on file. She has a ton more to lose right now by not filing than the relatively small. They're still approving cases for people who are out of status at the time that they get married and the time that they file, but they're going to be extra suspicious. I appreciate that your divorce attorney is your friend, but I think you need someone who knows what they're doing and knows what USCIS is going to be looking for, because the number one thing on the fraud indicator list is someone being out of status at the time they got married, and that's her.
Yeah, I wasn't sure about that. This is my first time dealing with all this.
Sure. Well, I mean, we have 200 videos that walk you through the whole thing, but I think you probably need some help.
Yeah.
And so Huli can reach out to you and send you a note here as soon as you and I get off the phone to follow up, and we can go from there. Okay.
All right. Yeah, that sounds good. Yeah, because my attorney was also thinking we shouldn't rush to do it because then they're going to be suspicious of that. So She was wrong about that.
That's ICE knocking at the door. Do you hear them?
I know. I'm worried about it. I want to get her. I want to be. I can't believe I met such an amazing woman, and I don't want her to have to go back. But I'm just.
All right, Huli, send me Richard's information, and I'll follow up directly with Richard. Okay. All right. Thanks, bud. I'll follow up with you tonight or tomorrow. Okay.
All right.
All right, buddy.
All right. Thank you.
Bye, Richard.
Bye.
69, my man's in love. You got to love that. There's hope for everybody out there, and there's someone right for everybody. So we're very happy for Richard. I'm glad he found the love of his life, or at least of his late life. And I think we can get that squared away. And I understand the fear of not filing, but things are only going to get harder, not easier, right? So, the best time would have been to file right after they got married, but now, let's go, Yalla Bina, as we say in Arabic. Oh, that was Richard. Let's go to Mozen. Hello, Mozen.
Hi, Jim. How's it going?
Good. How are you?
Good. I'm good. I got my PhD degree last May, and but I started applying. I applied for my OPT last January, and I had it for 1 year. It expired this January, so I applied for a STEM OPT extension EAD last October in the timeline on time. But there is a hold on benefit for 19 countries, including Iran, my country, and my OPT EAD, as I said, expired in January. So my extension EAD is on hold. I expedited it, but it's on hold. I and many others Iranians I talked with them in the Telegram chat, waited 90 days after December 2nd, 2025 for the memo because of when the memo initiated. To see if the hold will be lifted. When do you guys plan to have onboarding for hold removal for the second, case? I heard, you guys are in the court, but there are a lot of people in the Telegram say who's recruiting, who's having onboarding, and I really like your show, and I think, yes, I just wanted to see when you guys are gonna do that.
Probably next week, Mosen. We're not 100% sure. We're 95% sure. We're just waiting to see what happens in our current case. So make sure that you've notified our team. They're keeping a list of everybody that's interested, and Huli's got you. So we got you. As soon as we make that decision in the next couple of days, we'll let you know. Okay.
Great. I have another question too.
Sure.
Yeah. Thank you. So I submitted my. In parallel, I submitted my I-140, national interest waiver last December with an attorney. Now the I-48 filing is current. I heard from my friends that the second part of NIW I-485 is current. Also, my I-20 is extended to January 2028, as you know, by the university because it expired in January, right? This January, so they extended it 2 more years on my I-20. But I'm worried I might go out of status. I don't know what is my status days, as my work authorization expired in January. I have 106 months. I think 180 days after extension to work. I'm continuing to work for university still, but it will end in a few months. How much status will I have to stay in US? Should I apply for I-485 to extend my status? Will the immigration intent of probable I-48 filing be in conflict with my STEM extension EAD request?
Can you afford it?
Can I what?
Can you afford it? Can you afford the filing fees?
I can afford. Yeah, I can. Yeah.
File.
I see. This month, by end of this month.
Sounds good. Thanks, Mosen.
Yeah, thank you. And do you guys file that too?
Yeah, we do. We file it, and also we can throw that in the lawsuit too if you get it on file.
I see. And then how much does that cost? With your team.
The I-140 is already on file.
I filed the I-140 last December. Yeah.
Yeah. Send me a copy of it. Let me look at it, and then we go from there. I'll tell you after that. Okay. I want to see the I-140 first.
Okay, great. But I just wanted, thank you. Just last sentences. just want to, yeah. So if you guys expedite the onboarding, I can share the link of you on the Telegram of the onboarding, and I think everybody would be happy if you do that as soon as possible. That would be great. Thank you.
Bye, buddy. Thanks
Yeah,
for the
thanks.
call.
Bye. Yeah, thanks.
All right, all right. That was Mosen. Let's go to KF. Hello, KF.
Hi, Jim. How are you?
I'm well. How are you doing?
Doing good. So I have a couple of questions. So first thing, we're a couple affected by the immigration pause on the 75 countries, and we have a CR1 application. My husband had his interview in the country that he has temporary residence in. He's seeking asylum, but because of his nationality, we didn't get the visa. He didn't get the visa issued. He got a 221G. Do you think it's safe for him to travel back to his home country while we wait for this pause to be lifted? Because we're just worried that the embassy that he interviewed at may ask him to drop off the passport in person. And I'm just curious, like, do they allow like family members to drop off the passport once they're ready to issue visas, or would it be a huge risk leaving the country, considering like he might not be able to come back into the country, or like could he? I know you can't transfer the case right now he can't transfer the case to his home country since we're past the interview stage. But like could we internationally ship the passport? My main concern is that he leaves the country and then he needs to do anything at the embassy that he interviewed at, and then he won't be able to go back.
So I'm going to call your husband Joe, okay?
Okay.
So Joe is a citizen of country A, but he's residing in country R.
Yeah.
And in country R, Joe has applied for asylum.
Yes.
And Joe's waiting for a decision from the country of R to yes or no on his asylum case.
Yes.
Right. And in the meantime, you have an I-130 petition that's on file with USCIS?
Yeah.
That's still pending at USCIS?
Well, it's at NVC right now. We had our interview already.
Okay. Oh, yeah. Right. You had the interview.
Mm-hmm.
So Joe had his interview on your I-130 at the U.S. Embassy in country R.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And now Joe's thinking about going back to the country that he told country R it wasn't safe for him to go back to.
Yes.
And why is he thinking about going back to that country if he filed for asylum from there?
Well, because his asylum case right now is, he tried appealing, but they keep rejecting. And he's going to appeal again. So, it's like a risk staying there. And he also hasn't visited his home country in a while. So because of that, he was thinking, we don't know how long this pause is going to be. Would it just be better for him to go back to his home country?
Yeah, I just don't know. I can't say. I don't know anything about the laws of country R. I don't know anything about his asylum case. Generally, it's hard to get your case transferred from one embassy to another. And if they decide that they want to finally process it at the U.S. consulate in country R and he's stuck back in country A, I think that could be a big mess. So I wouldn't go anywhere if I were him. But that's not U.S. immigration law advice. That's just me having talked to people here in the United States about leaving with an asylum case. I don't really have a good point of reference. You might want to talk to an immigration lawyer in country R, but that's up to you guys. So
if he did go back to his home country, he would lift the case at the country that he's in. He would say that he can go back now, it's not an issue, and in that case, I guess, yeah, that's how he would go about it.
What I'm saying, getting the embassy in his home country to pull the case from where the interview was, that ain't easy.
Yeah, that's what we're also thinking.
So I would sit tight.
Because the only option is just because he's in appeal right now, and he keeps getting rejected. So if that's the case, he's just gonna have to overstay, and we don't want to do that. You know what I mean? But there's really no option.
Yeah, no, I understand. Thanks for the call.
I actually have another question as well.
Okay.
So how can we challenge the immigration pause legally as an individual? Because right now, we can't do like a writ of mandamus since the interview was recent. Can his asylum status be shown as an emergency? Or like, is there anything? Can we show the pause is illegal, and then we file individually, or we take legal action individually? Can we do that?
I assume that there are people filing legal challenges on an individual basis for the 75 country. You're talking about the 75 country ban?
Yeah.
The public charge?
Yep.
Yeah, I don't know how those are going to go. I think they're probably going to wait. Those courts are going to wait to see what happens in the bigger legal challenges to that. I just don't know.
Okay.
I don't think the chances of success would be very high.
Okay. And then one last question. So this is actually our second I-130 application. The first one was denied because of our own mistake, but we've resolved the issue.
What was it?
We didn't have a marriage certificate. We only had a religious certificate, and we didn't realize until afterwards that you would need it.
So then you got remarried and filed again?
Yes.
Okay.
And so, but the timeline of the first application, that won't count towards like the full time, will it?
It sounds like you filed an invalid case, so I would say no.
Okay. Got it. Okay. Yeah, that was my questions. Thank you so much.
Have a good day.
You too. Bye.
All right. Let's go to Shams. Hello, Shams.
Hey, Mr. Jim.
How are you, Shams?
Good. How are you doing?
I'm great.
So I had a quick question regarding, so I recently went to Afghanistan and got married. I was on there. I spoke with you a couple of times based on this. So I went home and got married, got my marriage certificate. But based on the original marriage certificate, I had to get it translated in English.
Sure.
Then the issue was like it has everything, like everything is accurate and correct, but the only problem was the marriage date is wrong. Do I need to get it translated again, or should I just apply with it and just explain to the explain what the issue is?
If there are a top 5 list of countries that USCIS and the National Visa Center believe produce fake documents, Afghanistan is in the top 5.
Okay.
So I would never voluntarily or purposely give them anything that puts any doubt in any of the documents that I've submitted. So I would spend the extra money and get it. If it was their mistake, tell them the translator, tell them to fix it.
Yeah, like I went back and told them like fix it, but they were like, no, that's not a big problem for us. So he refused to fix the issue.
So give them a 1-star review and find somebody else.
Yeah, so I guess then I have to like do it here in America.
Sure, it's better.
This was done in Afghanistan, so like
you're talking about the translation is what has the error, right?
Correct. Yeah.
It's accurate in the government document. It's accurate.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're better off with a U.S. translation anyway.
All right. Thank you so much.
Bye, Shams. See you, buddy.
See ya.
All right. Courtney's here. Hello, Courtney.
Hello, Jim. Thank you so much for taking my call. Thank you for the work that your team is doing. You may have answered this already, so I apologize if it's repetitive.
That's okay.
But I was married to a man in Ghana in December 2023. We did all the things. We are documentarily qualified as of April 2025. Now, Ghana is on this list, right? So they're not processing actually, they're still doing interviews, but they'll give these people like a note that says you're not eligible for a visa. And so they don't get the visa. My question is about the World Cup. My husband is a huge soccer fan. Yes, we're in the United States. So I want to know what's the likelihood of him getting, because we want to apply, because I was about to do it right now, for the B1, B2 visitor's visa for him to come and experience and go back. I've been to Ghana over the past 2 years, 6 times to visit him twice a year. So I want to know what the likelihood, I see you shaking your head. I want to know what the likelihood of is.
I'm shaking my head because you're a very nice person whose husband should be here. That's why I'm shaking my head.
Yeah, we want to start a family. We have these plans and they're on hold right now. But at least I'm thinking maybe we can just experience some things together here. He go back and then we continue to wait for whatever is going to happen with, his immigrant visa. So yeah, what do you think? That's my main question. What do you think is the likelihood of him being approved for a B1, B2 visa to experience the World Cup for about 3 months, whatever, go back?
2.5%.
Oh my God.
Because they're not going to believe him. They're going to think he's going to come here, say he's going to the World Cup. He might even go to the World Cup and then just stay here and file for a 485 with you here. So he's demonstrated immigrant intent. I love the theory. I'd love to see you try it and see what happens. But I think
is there anything you think that I can specifically say or do in our application? I know it's all online because we're doing it right now, but to convince, right, those who are approving that he intends to go back. Like, honestly, we want to follow the process. We just want to be together in the meantime.
Yeah, but see, the problem is, and this is something that a lot of people struggle to understand, is even when you have the best of intentions, and even when you have the intention of following the law, like you said, they assume that everybody's lying to them, and they assume that everybody is coming here to get a green card. And once you've filed that I-130 and demonstrated that you want to come here, or that he wants to come here, then I think the chances of him getting that visit visa are just no.
So do you think we should take, I mean, I have the money, so that's not a problem. Do you think we should take the chance and just try and see?
Go for it. Yeah, go for it.
Okay. Whatever happens, I'll let you know.
Yes, please. Thanks, Courtney. And again,
thank you.
How are you going through this? See ya. All right. That was a good theory. I like that approach. We'll see what happens. Mike. Hello, Mike.
Hey, Jim.
What's up, buddy?
Hey. How you doing?
I'm great. How are you doing?
I'm doing well. I've been watching your show for probably about 7 years now, but I never knew I would actually be a client of yours, so I'm looking forward to that. But anyway, long story short, I'm a U.S. citizen. My wife is actually in Nigeria, and we filed our I-130. Priority date is January 16th of 2025. So we're kind of hitting the 14-month mark right now. And so honestly, I've been a good boy, waiting, on USCIS, calling them, doing the congressional assist as well. All of that has proved, futile. So I decided to make the decision to go with the writ of mandamus, and I reached out to your team, who everyone has been nice, from Attorney O'Shea and Felipe. So I'm really looking forward to what the course of action will be, because this is insane. I'm a resident physician, so you can imagine how much hectic it's been just balancing residency and medicine with just trying to get my wife here. She's also a physician back in Nigeria, so it's just been a very difficult ordeal for us. But I'm really hoping that the writ of mandamus at least can tie their hands and make them make a decision. So
I hope so too. I mean, the thing is, they're going to fight this because they think they've got what they need to pause it. So if we file this lawsuit, you have to understand there's no guarantee that it's going to work. Like, I can't tell you for sure it's going to work.
I agree, but the alternative will be to sit down and wait, like we've been doing, and it's like nothing is happening. But at least I feel like with this, just like with just your videos and all the things I've been watching, at least they should, like, the file should come up to the table and something should at least be done. I'm not saying it's approval, but at least it should leave the trash can or wherever they've kept the file, because I mean, it's kind of ridiculous.
I agree. Well, yeah, we're up for that. Let's try it out and see what happens.
If you don't mind me asking, why did you push back and say that you don't think that you think they're gonna fight it?
So here's the thing. So in any mandamus lawsuit, and we have filed over 2,100 of them,
correct,
we need them on the other side to act in good faith and to sort of, take the case and decide to work on it. They might say, oh no one from those countries, even with a lawsuit, are getting a visa to come to the United States. Now, there's a carve out for litigation that allows for them to do it but it's going to be on a case-by-case basis. So I want you, before you make the decision to spend money on this and to get your hopes up and everything, I want you to understand that the government might file a motion to dismiss and say, Judge, this ban is legal. The Supreme Court said it was legal. And you can look up this case, Mike. It's called Hawaii versus Trump. And it says that basically, yeah, we know it sucks to be separated from your wife, but the president can decide who he lets into the United States. And so if they decide that they want to fight on your case and it goes to a judge, the judge is probably going to go rule in their favor.
Okay, gotcha. I just want to clarify, Jim. This case is still, like, it hasn't gone to NVC. So I'm not talking about them giving her a visa. It's just at least the case moving from USCIS to NVC. You're saying that they're still going to fight that?
No, that they probably won't. No, that they probably
Correct,
won't.
correct. That's my situation. I'm not. Yeah, I know with the visa, that it's an end all be all. I'm not even going to fight that because that's a bigger umbrella. But I'm pretty much at USCIS, and we haven't moved in 14 months. So that's where I'm at. It's like, okay, let's at least move to the MVC stage, and let's see where life takes us. But it's just the waiting has just been ridiculous.
I miss that, brother. The last 3 or 4 callers were all consulate cases. So in my mind, I just jumped to the consulate. So I understand what you're saying.
Got you. So are you saying I'm in a better situation? Because I know you guys are the number one when it comes to these, Mandamus's case, and that's why I went with you guys because, I said I've been. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
I feel better about what we talked about. Yeah.
Okay. Awesome. Well, I already have my case and everything going, and everything is moving on with the team. So I'm hoping for the best.
Thanks for the call, Mike. We'll talk soon. Okay, buddy.
All right. Thank you, sir. Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye. All right. Let's go to I-130 and June Court. Hello. Hello. Are you there? Liz, I-130. Hello, Liz.
Hello. How are you today?
I'm well. How are you doing?
Good as well. I have a question. Okay, so my case, I got married last year in January, 2025. We filed June 20th. USCIS received it June 23rd. June 24th of 2025, I was sent out for my biometrics. July 15, I received a letter of RFE. Our lawyer kept it for 2 months and responded a couple of days before deadline, which was October 3rd, 2025.
And what was requested?
I was a wave through.
Say that again.
They said it's called wave through. So I had to write a letter how I came in. I was 7 years old.
So in other words, you didn't have proof of a valid entry.
Correct.
Got it. Okay.
So I had to rewrite what we had sent out first. After that, USCIS received it a couple of days before deadline, and October 14th, 12 days later, I was scheduled for my interview, which was November 18, 2025.
Yep.
I was there. My lawyer told us, don't go in without me. Don't do anything. So we waited and he was late. So we didn't get in the building. My appointment was 7:15. Didn't get in the building until like 8 something. I interviewed when
the lawyer was an hour late.
Yeah.
That's not good.
And we were there, and the person who interviewed us, he was a really cool guy. My husband's name's like the Mexican boxer, so he kind of joked with us on that, maybe to feel a little comfortable with him. He asked questions on regards how I came in, how my entry was. I feel like he repeated the same questions, but just differently, which I answered the same. And once everything was done, he gave me a paper and said that he couldn't make he couldn't just make he needed there was going to be about within 10 to 60 days to be able to make a decision on my case, so he still had to do some more reviewing and see if I had any entrance. And it's been then, and I still haven't had any action on my case, not even my I-765. It's not even approved yet. It's USCIS still working on it.
The I-130 approved?
Nope, nothing. Not even. Oh, he asked for my work permit, and I said it's not even approved yet. So he's like, really? And I'm like, yeah. So I don't know. He checked, and he's like, oh, okay, because he kept insisting on, did you bring your work permit? I'm like, it's not approved. I haven't received anything. So I'm still waiting to hear back from them. What's the time frame for because I keep calling my lawyer, and he said, oh, you just have to wait. There's nothing we can do. It's not in my hands. I mean, we already paid him.
So here's my question. Talk to me about, so this whole case, the key issue in this case is your entry. So talk to me about the wave through and what you understand about that and what proof you have of the wave through.
I came in through the border. So the lawyer said that's illegal, but at the same time, an illegal entry. That's what I was told from him.
Okay. So let's forget all that. Tell me how you entered the United States.
Through a car.
Okay. And what port of entry was it? What border stop?
San Isidro.
Okay, San Isidro. Okay. And who was with you?
Individuals I didn't know.
Okay. So what questions did the officer ask you at your interview about your entry?
He did. Yes, he did.
What questions did he ask you?
He asked, how did you come in? And I explained to him I was in a van with, he said, okay. So it was like, he asked that, and he said, was it a car or what was it? And I said, it was a van. And he'll stop me. He had to type. Who was in there? Who was the driver? Woman. What's her name? I don't know. I never saw her after that. And it was like, that was it. I seen her and that was it. Who else was in the car, in the van he said, who else was in the car with you? And I said, it was a van. He said, oh, okay. Who else was in the van with you? And I said, my 1-year-old brother and 2 other girls. I didn't know. What were their names? I don't know their names. Okay. And did you hand any documents to the officer? No, I didn't.
Yeah, I didn't. So I don't know if you have a valid entry, and I don't know if you should have filed for a green card.
Oh, okay. The lawyer said it was that they get so many cases like that, and that even though it's not a valid entry, but I was 7 years old when I came in.
Doesn't matter.
Oh, okay.
Did you get DACA?
I don't. They reinstated DACA back in 2021. I was missing one document, and that document kept me out of DACA. And I feel like I should have always done that. I've been with my husband since 2009, but we just never got married. We have 5 kids, and we just recently got married last year, January 24, 2025.
What's your question for me, Liz?
What is my next step, or what should I do?
It's your birth. Who received you when the van came into America? Where did you go?
To some family's house in LA.
I don't want you to tell me the field office where you had this interview, but would it be a field office that is used to dealing with border issues?
No.
Okay. So I think you have a huge problem because it's your burden to show that you're admissible, and I don't know that you're going to be able to satisfy your burden based on what you've told me. So I think you might end up in deportation.
Okay. So there's nothing else I can do?
I mean, you don't have anyone, there's no one else in the van that you know who they were, who could testify about the circumstances of the entry, right?
Correct.
Yeah. No, I mean, you don't have much information. They don't have, you weren't able to provide them much information. You told them that they didn't check your paperwork. I mean, did you have a passport when you came across?
No.
Yeah. I think you're in big trouble, my friend.
Okay. So should I talk to my lawyer again? What should you recommend? I feel like my lawyer just never, it was like, just pay us and whatever. And like, it was one of the best lawyers here.
Mm-hmm.
But
if you want to email me, we can take a look at it and see if we can help. But it's a tough situation. Like, I suspect that if you had come to us, we would have said, lady, this is not the time to be getting your affairs in order. This is not the time to be filing. We're glad you married your U.S. citizen spouse, but this is not the time to raise your hand and tell them that you're here. And now you're in the machine, and I think it's headed towards deportation.
Mm. Oh my God. And I was hoping for a better answer, but okay, I'll email you guys.
Thanks for the call.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
I hope the lawyers did a little bit more analysis as to whether or not she had a valid entry, but it sure doesn't sound like it. I mean, something like that, we would have done a CBP request, but it sounds like there's nothing. She never showed them she didn't have a passport. MIPFA. Hello, MIPFA.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you doing?
I'm well, thank you. What's up?
So I'm 20, about to turn 21. I've been here for about 6 years. I came into a visitor visa. I've been coming here since I was a kid. I'm from Haiti. And I recently got married to my husband in December of last year. And I've sent my I-130. And then later on, I sent all the other papers for the work permit and the adjustment of status. I had TPS, which what's going on right now with TPS. I still haven't received any receipts from USCIS, anything, and it's been more than 2 weeks. It's about to be 2 months or a month since I sent the papers to them by the mail, and I haven't gotten anything. I only got the receipt for the I-130 because I sent it online, but nothing.
Do you have proof of delivery of the 45 application?
I did do certified mail. It did says delivered, but still no receipts from them.
And how did you pay for the 45?
There's the new form that you have to file and put it for each application and the correct amount and everything. I did everything.
Has that money been deducted or charged to your credit card?
No, it's still in my bank account. So I'm like worried. I don't know what to do. Me and my husband, we have an apartment, we have bank accounts, like everything together. We live together.
Sure. But the problem is that certified mail sucks.
Okay.
And it doesn't give you any real proof. Like when we send things, we pay for Federal Express so that we have a signature from a live person, and we know that they received it within a day. You've been in this no man's land for 2 months, you said. So I would call USCIS.
Yeah.
Reference your I-130 receipt number. Ask them if they have a corresponding 45 that's been received. Ask them what they think, and then go from there.
Okay. I also have another question. So what do I do? I don't know. I'm just like scared because I'm about to be out of status soon because of the TPS.
If they tell you that they have it, then you just let it go and say, I need my receipt notice. If they tell you they don't have it, then you seriously consider filing another application.
So like sending another one with, okay.
Yeah. But send it Federal Express.
So, but if I become out of status with the TPS, or what am I still able to adjust status?
Your spouse is a U.S. citizen?
Yes, he's white.
Play that funky music, white boy. Yeah, he's fine. You're fine. Just hurry up. Don't waste any more
Yeah.
time. Call USCIS tonight or tomorrow and then go from there.
So how do I find a number to call? I don't know.
Oh, sure. I can get it for you. Hold on.
Thank you so much.
All you have to do is type in USCIS 1-800 number and it'll tell you. It's 1-800-375-5283.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah.
Thanks, Mifa.
Thank you so much.
See ya. All right. Let's go to K1 visa question. Hello.
Hey, good afternoon. How are you?
Mm-hmm.
Good. Hey, yeah, so question. My fiance and I, she's from the Philippines. We met back in 2023. We were engaged in December of 2023. I was separated, going through a divorce. We tried to do, she was actually OFW working in Hong Kong. And so we filed a B1 tourist visa there for her to come just to visit. She got denied, of course. And then once she went back home to the Philippines, we tried again. We do have a K1 visa on file, and it's been approved at USCIS and is in that that transferring to NVC right now. My question is, I was going back through her second B2 or B1 visa application and noticed she had been divorced, but noticed her divorce came, I guess, in between her first try when she was in Hong Kong for her tourist visa. And we accidentally left that she was still married on her second one, but she is divorced now. Is that going to be a problem when she goes for her interview, or should we do anything on that? So
I don't think there's anything you can do. And yes, it would be a problem, but probably not. I mean, I think that explanation makes sense to me. And as long as you have the divorce decree, you can see why. I mean, so let's walk it through. So they say, oh, you lied to us. You said you were married when you were really divorced in the hopes of getting a visit visa. I mean, note to everybody listening, this is one of the reasons why you don't file visit visas when you have something better pending. When you have a fiance case or a spouse case, I know it's hard. You're not going to get the visit visa. It's not going to be approved. So all you do is cause yourself problems by filing B1, B2s that are going to be denied because sometimes you check the wrong box.
Yeah.
So I think it's maybe like a 10% chance of being a big problem, but I doubt it.
Okay. Yeah. And we actually filed the K1 after she tried for her second B2 or B1. So, but we just,
I got you.
Check the box. Yeah. So, but, so anyway, okay. Well, that was my only question. So I appreciate it.
Have a good day. Thanks for the
All
call.
right, you too. Thanks. Bye-bye.
All right. Let's go back to I-130 in June Court, see if they got their audio working. Hello.
How you doing, Mr. Jim?
I'm great. How are you doing?
Doing good. Thank you for taking my call.
Sure.
So I'm a U.S. citizen since 2013.
Okay.
And I got married to a Venezuelan woman in last January.
Nice.
Recently married. She got in the country in 2024. She got inspected, and she currently have an I-94 with a work permit card.
Yep.
And she has a immigration court on June 2026 this year.
Okay.
So my question is, because I'm new with this, what should be my first step? I-130, or we should get a lawyer for that court? How do we should approach?
Both, and we can help you if you want, but basically what needs to happen is you need to file an I-130 petition. Then we all need to enter our appearance in June and let them know that the I-130 is pending and try to talk to the judge and get that case sort of slowed down so that we can get your I-130 approved, and then we go from there.
Okay, so I have another question.
Sure.
Her court is in Philadelphia, and I'm from Virginia. I live in Virginia. And how we should do with that court, like, because I was advised to don't go in person and get a lawyer to put a motion to dismiss. So
Motion to
How
transfer.
that?
Yeah, she lives with you now.
Yes, she live. We live together since November 2025, and
So
everything it was a little bit fast, because the times, and
mhm.
also she's pregnant too, so we have a lot of evidence.
Congratulations. So here's
Thank
what
you.
I would say. I think you need to think about your case a little bit differently, okay?
Okay.
Like you told me, my wife came in from Venezuela. She has an I-94. She has a work card, and now we're married.
Yeah.
The way that I would frame this case is, my wife is in deportation. I need to try to keep her from being deported. We have
Yes.
a valid marriage. We have a child on the way. I'm a
Yes.
U.S. citizen. I want to sponsor her. So yeah, I mean, this is a deportation case. So if you want our help with your deportation case, we can tell you everything you need to do. We can help you get the case moved. We can get the I-130 on file. We can tell the judge in June what the plan is and represent her all the way through.
Yes. That was my other question, like, because everything she have when we go on the USCIS website, they say everything is revoked, like
Right.
her permit. So
Right.
yeah, I would like to do that, the I-130 and that
Okay.
forward.
Julie's giving me a thumbs up. She's going to reach out to you. Okay.
Okay. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thanks for the call. Bye, buddy.
Bye.
All right. Let's go to Khaled. Hello, Khaled. You're on mute, buddy.
Yes, sir. Hi.
Hi, Khaled.
I'm sorry my English not good, but
You're
I
fine.
try to explain as I can.
Okay.
I have already green card 2 years, and I am going to renew my green card, but I am separate now with my wife. But I don't know what should I do, divorce or I don't know what I do.
Okay. What country are you from, Khaled?
Cairo, Egypt.
Oh, Misr. Nice.
Yeah, Mr.
When did you come to the United States?
I came before 3 years, and I married with my wife January 17, 2024. And I spent with her around 14 months. But after that, there is a lot of trouble, and I can't able to continue with her. I am separate now. Before I met with my wife in Ab, and this time I was working in Saudi Arabia, and she asked me to meet. I back to Cairo. She come 3 times in Cairo, and then same time I wanted to Bosnia to meet her parents, to meet her daughters. Everything goes very good. We spent 2 times in Turkey together. But when I come here, she changed. She become very tough with me. I went to doctor. I leave the house. I don't know where I go. But after that, after I start work, I separate. But now I have my green card, almost 8 months. It will be finished, but I don't know what I do.
Okay. Khaled, here's what I want to do. So the show, we're sort of out of time on the show. I'm going to have my friend Huli reach out to you, and I'm going to set you up with a time to talk to my wife, Amani, tomorrow. She's from Egypt. She can talk to you and explain it to you all in Arabic and in English, and we can talk the whole thing through, okay?
Oh, thank you, sir.
You're welcome, buddy. Have a good night.
Thank you so much.
All right, masalama.
Salam.
All right, Huli's nodding. Huli, we had a lot of calls today, didn't we? How many did we have, Huli? 16? 17. 17. Nice. That's a lot of calls. I like moving fast, especially when I'm fasting. How about that? All right, we'll be back tomorrow. Huli, what time tomorrow? 3:30 p.m. Central. Same bat time, same bat channel. That'll be episode 1011. We'll see you guys tomorrow. Have a good night. And Huli, thank you for your help. Let me know about Khaled and that other one that I asked you to send me, and I'll follow up with them. I'll go talk to Amani right now, giving Daniel a run for his money on the phones. That's true. Good show, guys. Thanks, everybody. I do have to wait medium rare for iftar. I have to wait. I'm doing a talk at 6 o'clock, but I'm going to bring some water. and I might get a smoothie on the way so I can break my fast while I'm on stage. Everyone can see me be a savage, like Cookie Monster. Hope you guys have a good night, and we'll see you soon. Bye, Laura. Bye, everybody. Big ups to all the yardies. Peace out.
I'm great about that, other than trying to help people who are in a state of invasion.
I mean,